Formula One is ready for a revolutionary change with the new engine regulation scheduled to be introduced in 2026. With these changes, new teams will join the championship as both the existing teams as well as new teams have to go through a new engine development process, creating more equal opportunity for all the teams for a fair competition. So, we will see a totally new Formula One championship after this bigger change, and most probably, new F1 engines will produce its old roar again. This is something really interesting, and let's explore the story behind this 2026 regulation change in detail. But before starting the story, remember to click the bell icon for more interesting updates in the future. The next generation engines will no longer depend on fossil fuels, and they will use fully sustainable synthetic fuels as their power source. Even if these synthetic fuels also cause the emission of carbon dioxide, theoretically, it will cause no new addition of new carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. That's why FIA is successful in achieving its net zero carbon emission plans, and these synthetic fuels are produced as the result of extensive research done by FIA in collaboration with its fuel partner, Aramco. Current 1.6-liter turbo hybrid engines are regenerating only 120 kilowatt using its electrical elements like MGU-K and MGU-H. However, with these schedule changes, MGU-K, or Kinetic Motor Generator Unit, will be upgraded to a level that it can produce energy of around 350 kilowatt. That means energy wasted as braking energy will be collected with a tripled efficiency by these new electrical components. But the MGU-H element, which is known as the Thermal Energy Recovery System, will be removed from the new engine setup as the development of that component is too much expensive, and the engine manufacturers have less favor on it with that reason. That means 2026 engines will run on more electrical power than fuels, but without a change in the horsepower provided by the previous engine setup. So we can expect an output of 1,000 horsepower without any change. In 2013, roughly around 160 kilograms of oil was burnt for a single race, and that amount was reduced up to 100 kilograms in 2020. So, the plan of the F1 management is to reduce this value further up to 70 kilograms by 2026. Even if it uses more electrical power, people expect more louder noise from these new engines. Normally, louder noise was a symbol of the Formula One engine in all the eras like V12, V10, and V8. But the tradition was continued in the introduction of V6 turbo hybrid engines in 2014. The majority of Formula One fans are very disappointed about this absence, as they love to hear the roaring of engines more and more when it produces more energy. With the removal of the MGU-H component from the engines, they will produce more louder noise as its predecessor like V12s and V10s. In a recent interview, F1 boss Stefano Domenicali confirmed that new engines will produce much louder noise. Stefano said, "The intention is to make sure in the new regulation the engine noise itself will be higher, because that's part of our emotion. It is really what our fans want to hear, and that's the duty for us to commit to that. We need to have a different sound. It's music from my ears. It's true that we had the 12 cylinders. It was a different frequency, very loud, and then 10, 8, 6. It's not again down," he added further. Even though louder noise is back on engines after the removal of the MGU-H component, it will create a difficult scenario for drivers to handle the car with the turbo lag. This problem will arise more on corner exits. In addition, both drivers and strategists will face a huge problem in deciding where to use the power unit's electric potential in between a race. Cost cap regulations were introduced more recently, and teams have faced huge difficulty in adjusting to them with the existing costly engine setup, which was introduced several years before these new engine regulations. So, Formula One management has focused more on controlling these heavy expenses under these new regulations. One notable approach towards this low-cost engine development is the banning of expensive manufacturing materials and systems like MGU-H. The limitation of these power units per season will stand even under the 2026 engine regulation changes as well. Formula One is having a more environment-friendly approach since the start of the turbo hybrid era, and they are widening their plans towards a greener future, step by step. Under these 2026 engine regulation changes, Formula One has mandated the recycling of the batteries, MGU-K components, and other parts that especially contain cobalt at the end of their lifetime. The aim of this recycling process is the use of more materials that are already above the ground than bringing new material from the Earth's interior. This is a theoretical base, not only for production materials, but also for the use of synthetic fuels. When synthetic fuels are used, carbon stored in the deeper parts of the Earth will not bring to the surface. With these heavy changes, Formula One is ready for a new journey from 2026. The majority of teams will end their existing engine deals and will look for new engine suppliers from 2026. Red Bull already announced its new partnership with Ford as an engine supplier, and Honda, who left the sport at the end of the 2021 season, will join the sport again in 2026 with Aston Martin. Teams like Williams are also looking for options other than Mercedes. In addition, no more Alfa Romeo will be on the grid, as the Sauber team already announced its newest partnership with Audi from 2026. 2 new teams will join the championship in 2026, and most probably, one will be the Andretti F1 team, which is going to be powered by Cadillac power units. A championship composed of 12 teams and 6 or 7 engine manufacturers will surely add a new dimension to the sport. That is the end of the video. Subscribe us for more informative videos like this.